It's a calm afternoon, your dog is playing joyfully, when all of a sudden they begin coughing and struggling to breathe. Your heart pounds. Moments like this strike without warning, and what you do next could mean everything. Far too often, pet owners are caught off guard during emergencies. That's why today, we're sharing 10 essential first aid tips every dog owner should know. These simple yet crucial techniques can help you stay composed and act quickly when your best friend needs you the most. 1. Assessing the situation. In any emergency, your initial response can set the tone for everything that follows. The first thing you need to do is take a deep breath and assess the situation calmly. Panicking won't help, and your dog will pick up on your stress, which can make things worse. Begin by observing your dog's behavior. Are they limping, bleeding, or having trouble breathing? These small details can provide vital clues about what's going on. Take a quick but thorough look for any visible injuries. However, if your dog appears to be in pain or distress, avoid moving them until you're sure it's safe. Sometimes, the signs are subtle, like unusual lethargy, excessive drooling, or restlessness, but noticing these early cues can be crucial in determining what type of care they need. Once you've assessed the situation, you'll have a clearer idea of whether the issue is something you can handle at home, like a minor cut, or if it requires immediate veterinary care, such as difficulty breathing or a seizure. Remaining calm and composed will not only help your dog but will also enable you to make level-headed decisions in those critical first moments. 2. Treating cuts and scrapes. Dogs are naturally curious creatures, and sometimes their adventures lead to minor injuries like cuts or scrapes. If your dog comes home with a small wound, the first thing you should do is clean the area. Use a pet-safe antiseptic or antiseptic wipes to gently dab the wound, removing any dirt or debris. Avoid using products like alcohol or hydrogen peroxide, as these can irritate the skin and delay healing. Once the wound is clean, you can apply a bandage if necessary, but be sure to monitor it closely. Dogs tend to lick or chew at bandages, so you might need to use an Elizabethan collar, commonly known as the cone of shame, to prevent this. Keep an eye on the wound over the next few days. If you notice swelling, redness, or discharge, it could be a sign of infection, and you should contact your vet immediately. For deeper cuts or wounds that won't stop bleeding, don't wait, head to the vet right away. Time is of the essence in these cases, as you don't want to risk infection or other complications. But for those smaller scrapes, quick and proper first aid at home can prevent a minor issue from becoming something more serious. If you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more essential tips on keeping your dog safe and healthy. 3. Handling choking. One of the most frightening scenarios any dog owner can face is a choking dog. If your dog starts to gag, cough, or paw at their mouth, it's possible that something is stuck in their throat. The first step is to remain calm and act quickly. Open your dog's mouth and check for any visible obstructions. If you can see the object, carefully try to remove it using your fingers or tweezers. Just be careful not to push it further down the throat. If the object isn't visible or your dog is still struggling to breathe, immediate action is required. Rush them to the vet. In extreme cases, you might need to perform the canine Heimlich maneuver, but this should only be attempted if you've been properly trained. Be aware that a choking dog may react defensively and could bite out of panic, even if they don't normally bite. Choking can be a terrifying experience, but knowing how to respond in those crucial moments can make all the difference. It's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with basic first aid techniques, like the Heimlich maneuver for dogs, before an emergency happens. 4. Dealing with heatstroke. On hot days, it's easy for dogs to overheat, especially if they've been running around or playing outside for an extended period. Heatstroke is a serious condition that can escalate quickly, so it's important to recognize the early signs and act fast. If your dog is panting heavily, drooling excessively, or seems weak or disoriented, they may be suffering from heat exhaustion or heatstroke. Move your dog to a cooler, shaded area immediately. Use a damp cloth to gently cool them down, focusing on areas like the belly, ears, and paws. However, avoid using ice-cold water, as this can cause their body to go into shock. Offer small amounts of cool water to drink, but don't let them gulp it down too quickly, as this could lead to vomiting. Monitor their condition closely. If they don't start to recover quickly, it's time to seek veterinary help. Heatstroke can cause permanent damage to your dog's organs, so early intervention is critical. Prevention is key. Always ensure your dog has access to fresh water and shade, especially during hot weather. 5. Recognizing poisoning symptoms. Dogs are notorious for getting into things they shouldn't, whether it's chocolate, household chemicals, or even certain plants. Poisoning can happen in the blink of an eye, and the symptoms can vary depending on what they've ingested. Common signs include vomiting, diarrhea, excessive drooling, or sudden changes in behavior, such as lethargy or agitation. If you suspect your dog has been poisoned, act quickly. Remove any remaining substance from their reach, but do not induce vomiting unless instructed by a veterinarian. Contact your vet or an emergency animal clinic immediately, and try to have the packaging or details about the substance on hand, as this will help the professionals determine the best course of treatment. Poisoning is one of those emergencies where every second counts. The faster you act, the better the chances are for a full recovery. And while we're on the topic of emergencies, don't forget to share your own experiences or tips in the comments section below. Let's learn from each other and help keep our pets safe. 6. Creating a pet first aid kit. Prevention and preparation go hand in hand when it comes to your dog's safety. One of the best ways to be prepared for an emergency is by having a well-stocked pet first aid kit. This kit should include everything you might need to handle common injuries or medical situations until you can get to the vet. Having these items ready and easily accessible could save valuable time when every second counts. Your kit should contain essentials like antiseptic wipes, bandages, gauze pads, and a pet-safe disinfectant. Tweezers are useful for removing splinters or insect stingers, and a pet thermometer can help you monitor your dog's temperature if they seem unwell. A muzzle is also an important tool to include, as even the calmest dog may bite when they're in pain or frightened. Additionally, blunt-tip scissors are handy for cutting bandages or trimming fur around a wound. Instead of relying on pre-made first aid kits, which may not have everything your dog specifically needs, consider building your own. This allows you to personalize the kit based on your dog's size, breed, and activity level. For example, if your dog spends a lot of time outdoors, you might want to include items to treat insect bites or minor burns. By tailoring your kit, you'll be ready for anything that comes your way. And speaking of being prepared, make sure to check the pinned comment for a special ebook we've put together. It's filled with even more tips and advice on how to improve your dog's well-being and strengthen your relationship with them. 7. Handling fractures or sprains. Accidents don't always lead to visible wounds. Sometimes, your dog may sustain internal injuries like fractures or sprains, which can be just as dangerous. If your dog is limping, refusing to put weight on a leg, or yelps when moving a certain way, they might have a bone or joint injury. The first thing to do in this situation is to keep your dog as still as possible to prevent further damage. For suspected fractures, it's important not to attempt to reset the bone yourself. Instead, use a soft splint or a rolled-up towel to gently stabilize the limb. This will help minimize movement until you can get them to the vet. Be very cautious when handling the injured area, as even gentle pressure can cause significant pain. Sprains are less serious than fractures but still require attention. Restrict your dog's movement and avoid letting them walk too much until you can get a professional opinion. Never administer human pain medications like ibuprofen or aspirin, as these can be toxic to dogs. Your vet will be able to provide appropriate treatment and pain relief, ensuring that your dog heals properly. Being prepared with first aid techniques for fractures and sprains can make an uncomfortable situation more manageable for your dog until they get the care they need. 8. Dealing with insect bites or stings. Dogs are naturally curious, and that curiosity sometimes leads them to encounter insects like bees, ants, or spiders. While most insect bites and stings are not life-threatening, they can cause discomfort and, in some cases, trigger allergic reactions. Knowing how to treat a bite or sting quickly can help alleviate your dog's pain and prevent complications. If your dog has been stung, the first thing you might notice is localized swelling, redness, or irritation. Start by applying a cold compress to the affected area to reduce swelling and soothe the discomfort. If you can see the stinger, carefully remove it using tweezers, making sure not to squeeze it, as this could release more venom into your dog's skin. Keep a close eye on your dog after the sting. In rare cases, dogs can have allergic reactions to insect bites, leading to symptoms like vomiting, difficulty breathing, or extreme swelling. If you notice any of these signs, seek veterinary care immediately. Most bites and stings are mild, but it's always better to err on the side of caution. To prevent future incidents, try to keep your dog away from areas known to be home to aggressive insects, like beehives or ant mounds. And, of course, having an antihistamine in your pet first aid kit, approved by your vet, can be a good precaution. 9. Administering CPR. CPR is one of the most critical life-saving techniques you can learn, not just for humans but for dogs too. If your dog stops breathing or loses consciousness, knowing how to perform CPR can give them a fighting chance while you seek professional help. It's essential to familiarize yourself with the steps in advance, as there won't be time to learn during an emergency. Start by checking your dog's airway to ensure it is clear of any obstructions. Lay your dog on their right side, as this provides the best access to their heart. For small dogs, place your hands over their chest just behind the elbow and apply gentle compressions. For larger dogs, you'll need to use more force, but be careful not to apply too much pressure, as this can cause internal injuries. After 30 compressions, give 2 rescue breaths by closing your dog's mouth and blowing air into their nose. Continue this cycle until your dog starts breathing on their own or until you reach the vet. Timing is critical in these situations, so it's important to act fast but carefully. Consider signing up for a pet CPR course to get hands-on training. Knowing how to perform CPR correctly can make the difference between life and death should the unthinkable happen. 10. Staying calm and collected. The most important thing you can do in any emergency is to stay calm. Dogs are incredibly perceptive and can sense your emotions. If you panic, your dog is likely to become more stressed, which can make the situation even worse. Take a moment to collect yourself, assess what needs to be done, and act methodically. In moments of crisis, clear thinking leads to better decisions. Whether your dog has a minor scrape or a more serious injury, your calm demeanor will not only help you act quickly but will also reassure your dog. It's easier said than done, but practice makes perfect. The more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel when an emergency arises. Keeping a level head could be the lifeline your dog needs in their moment of distress. With these essential first aid tips under your belt, you're now better equipped to handle the unexpected. Emergencies can happen at any time, and the actions you take in those first critical moments can truly make a difference in your dog's recovery. Whether it's treating a minor injury or responding to a life-threatening situation, your preparedness can be the key to saving your dog's life. Have you ever had to administer first aid to your dog? What happened, and how did you handle it? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Sharing your experience can help other dog owners be better prepared for their own emergencies. And don't forget, if you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with fellow dog lovers. The more we know, the safer our pets will be. Together, we can help keep them happy and healthy for years to come. See you next time with more tips and curiosities about the world of dogs.